Hello, my dear. You don't realize how disruptive your presence has become until you notice who's paying attention. Not your neighbors, not your friends, not the casual onlookers scrolling past. I'm talking about the ones who are supposed to be untouchable. The ones who sit in towers of influence, who believe their gaze should only rest on inventions, rockets, billion-dollar problems. Yet somehow, against all calculations, it lands on you. Elon Musk isn't scrolling past you. He isn't ignoring you. He's circling. He's dissecting. He's replaying. You've turned into a disturbance in his mental orbit, the thing that makes him glance twice when he's supposed to be asleep. And that should tell you more than a million compliments ever could. Because obsession doesn't start with weakness. It starts with recognition. Think about it. This is a man who thrives on obsession. He conquered industries because his brain refused to shut down. He built rockets not because it was easy, but because his nights refused to let him rest. He operates in a field where attention is currency, and his attention is a vault locked shut for nearly everyone. Yet here you are, uninvited, unexpected, and suddenly the vault has cracked open. He doesn't broadcast it, he won't tweet it. But make no mistake, he is studying you. He's searching for the reason why your movement, your ideas, your energy has disrupted the flow he thought he had mastered. And when people like him study, they don't skim. They go layer by layer until the truth rattles them enough to admit this isn't just competition, it's intrusion. The dangerous part? You didn't even apply for this position. You didn't audition for his recognition. That's why it stings him more. Because nothing terrifies powerful men more than someone who becomes a reference point without permission. Elon can ignore startups. He can ignore companies burning millions in a month. He can ignore fanatics screaming his name online. But he can't ignore presence. And your presence is the kind that unsettles schedules, that interrupts equations, that slips past filters, no matter how advanced. That's why his sleep is cracking at the edges. Not because he chose to obsess, but because obsession chose him the second your actions redefined the scale of possibility. You have to understand what this really means. Elon isn't losing sleep because you're competition. He's losing sleep because you represent something worse. You represent an uncontrollable variable. He thrives on predicting outcomes, on pushing humanity into a box he can calculate. But how does he calculate you? How does he quantify the way people's eyes shift when you enter a room? How does he measure the way entire conversations tilt around your name? He can calculate engines, satellites, algorithms, but he can't calculate why you're on his mind when he's supposed to be drawing the next blueprint for humanity. That's not just respect. That's intrusion into a brain designed to obsess only over the impossible. And you've become the impossible he can't stop running simulations on. This is the part people miss. They think obsession is flattering. They think it's validation. But obsession, when it comes from men like him, is war disguised as curiosity. When Elon studies, he's not looking to admire. He's looking to find a weakness, a crack, a lever he can pull to neutralize what unsettles him. That's what makes your position so potent. You're not even playing his game. Yet he's rearranging strategies as if you've invaded the board. He's questioning his own flow, his own resilience, his own timing. Because every time your name resurfaces, it disturbs the equation. And equations are supposed to be clean. But you've written yourself into his with ink that won't erase. And let's be clear, this isn't accidental. The kind of magnetism you carry doesn't sneak in quietly. It drags eyes, It forces recalibration. It makes even the most arrogant minds admit they've overlooked something essential. That's what makes Elon restless. Because in his mind, he's already seen the world's brightest challengers, and they all play predictable roles. Innovators chase markets, engineers chase efficiency, politicians chase legacy. But you don't chase. You disrupt without chasing. You alter gravity by simply existing. And that kind of existence is the rarest phenomenon of all. That's why his focus has slipped into you, even against his own will. Here's the question that really haunts him. If you can do this without trying, what happens when you decide to aim deliberately? What happens when you choose to weaponize the very energy that already forces powerful men into restless nights? That thought alone is what keeps him replaying scenarios like a man trying to out-engineer a ghost. Because ghosts can't be engineered. They can only be acknowledged or feared. And Elon Musk doesn't like acknowledging anything that could dethrone him. Which means fear is the only option left. Fear wrapped in the mask of curiosity. Fear camouflaged as analysis. But fear, nonetheless. Understand something. Obsession is never neutral. When a figure like him becomes fixated, the ripple doesn't stop at his mind. It seeps into his conversations, his decisions, his networks. He may never mention your name in public, but behind doors, when the whiteboards are covered in equations and the assistants are scribbling notes, there's a ghost outline of you. It doesn't need to be spoken aloud. It hangs there, unacknowledged but undeniable. His staff notices when his attention drifts. His partners notice when he pauses a beat longer than usual. They can't name it, but they feel it. He's haunted. And haunting is a power no algorithm can contain. And this is only the opening act, because obsession always escalates. At first it's curiosity, then it becomes fixation, and fixation has consequences. His calendar begins to bend. His responses begin to fracture. The very thing that gave him control, his ability to lock in relentlessly, turns against him. Now the same force that made him a titan is eating at him from within, because it's been hijacked by your presence, and you don't even have to lift a finger. The longer he studies, the deeper the hook sinks, and once it's lodged, removal is impossible. That's why he's awake at hours he shouldn't be. That's why his mind runs loops that never close. Because obsession isn't a choice, it's a virus, and you are the carrier he can't develop immunity against. Think about what this means for you. You've turned the world's most relentless innovator into a restless observer. You've transformed the man who claims to master disruption into the one being disrupted. And he'll never admit it publicly. He'll never send a message confessing, "I can't stop thinking about you." But obsession doesn't need confession. It reveals itself in the cracks, missed hours of sleep, distracted moments, overcompensating in directions that don't matter. And the deeper truth is this. When powerful men obsess over you, they begin reshaping their strategies to counter you, even if you're not attacking. Which means, in a twisted way, you're already in control. But don't misunderstand. This isn't about Elon Musk as a person. This is about what your existence does to people who are supposed to be untouchable. It proves something critical, that power isn't measured by wealth or rockets or influence. Power is measured by who disrupts whose sleep. And right now, it's not you losing sleep over him. It's him losing sleep over you. That reversal alone is the purest form of dominance. Because dominance isn't always about destruction. Sometimes it's about disturbance. And you are the disturbance that even billionaires can't shake. So ask yourself this. If a man who has everything the world idolizes can't ignore you, what does that mean for everyone else? If someone who built empires can't erase you from his thoughts, what does that mean for those with far less control? It means you've already crossed the line from presence to obsession, from recognition to fixation. And once that line is crossed, there's no retreat. Not for him, not for anyone. That's why this story isn't just about Elon Musk. It's about every powerful mind that will come after him, every leader, every innovator, every influencer who thinks they can outrun the gravitational pull of your presence. They won't. They'll all end up in the same position, restless, studying, haunted. Because obsession isn't about who you're watching, it's about who can't stop watching you. The truth is, obsession is parasitic. It starts small, an itch, a curiosity, a question whispered in the back of the mind. But with people like Elon, it doesn't remain small for long. His mind doesn't function on casual interest. His mind is wired like a search engine on fire, unable to leave a question unresolved. The second you entered his radar, you triggered the circuitry he can't silence. He doesn't ask, "Who is this?" once and move on. He asks it 1,000 times, from 1,000 angles, until the patterns refuse to leave him alone. Every pause in his schedule becomes a window for replay. Every failure of his competition becomes a mirror reflecting you back at him. And while he's searching for the answer, you're not even trying to be the question. That's what makes it worse. Because Elon thrives on causes he can define. SpaceX, colonization, Tesla, sustainability, Neuralink, expansion. Each obsession of his is chosen, curated, given a label. But you are undefined, and the undefined is intolerable to a man whose empire rests on prediction. He can predict the orbit of planets, the trajectory of industries, the rise and fall of trends. But he cannot predict you. And unpredictability is the one element that shatters control. That's why his nights are restless. That's why the replay button in his mind is breaking from overuse. He can't chart you. And if he can't chart you, then in his mind you are more dangerous than failure itself. Dangerous because presence like yours doesn't just disrupt, it spreads. Once you've become a reference point for him, it doesn't stay hidden. His networks, his conversations, his decisions begin to warp unconsciously around the weight of your image. He may never admit it, but you've infected the flow. He'll change the angle of his strategies, push harder in areas that didn't matter before, overextend in directions he thinks will drown out your echo. And each overextension is proof. Proof that you've invaded the mind of a man who was supposed to be untouchable. Proof that even billionaires are not immune to psychological dominance. And it isn't just Elon Musk. Because obsession at that level creates ripples. When people sense what's eating at him, they'll start tracing it back. His investors will notice when his eyes flicker. His advisors will sense when his mind drifts off track. They won't say your name, but they'll feel the weight of the distraction. They'll start looking into you themselves. They'll wonder, what is it that got under his skin? And before you know it, the very obsession that was supposed to remain private spreads like wildfire into circles of influence. Suddenly, they're all looking at you, not because you begged for attention, not because you bought it, but because obsession leaks. One man's fixation becomes a dozen people's whisper. A dozen whispers become 100 searches, and soon the quiet study becomes an uncontrollable spotlight. That is how legacies bend, without announcement, without press releases, without staged campaigns. They bend because one figure at the top begins to obsess over something they can't explain. and everyone else follows the current of that obsession. Elon isn't just thinking about you at 3 a.m. He's inadvertently making you a figure of interest in rooms you've never stepped into. He's placing you in the subconscious of boardrooms, in the half-formed questions of strategists, in the calculations of men who pretend they don't get rattled. And the irony? You're not even trying. That's what destroys them most of all. Now pause and examine the imbalance here. Elon Musk is supposed to be the disruptor. He is supposed to be the one who haunts other people's nights, who forces companies into panic, who bends competitors into collapse. Yet here we are, and the current has reversed. You have become his unsolved problem. You are the weight on his chest at midnight, the ghost in his equation. And when someone like Elon feels haunted, he doesn't collapse, he compensates. But compensation is the first sign of fracture. Every new project he rushes, every overstatement he makes, every unnecessary risk he pushes forward, these are tells. Tells that his obsession is steering him off the flawless trajectory he prides himself on. And here's the part no one else sees. Obsession erodes confidence. At the top, confidence is everything. Billion-dollar investors don't just invest in numbers. They invest in certainty, in presence, in conviction. When that conviction falters, even by an inch, the foundation shakes. Elon can't afford to look shaken. But obsession doesn't ask permission. It shows in the pauses. It shows in the inconsistencies. It shows in the sleepless eyes and the overcalculated moves. And those subtle cracks are what separate dominance from decline. And you are the source of those cracks. Think about the psychological warfare embedded here. Without lifting a hand, without buying a headline, you've entered the space most people would pay billions just to touch. The mind of one of the most guarded men on Earth. You've bypassed every gate, every layer of protection, every wall of pride. Not because you forced entry, but because your presence refused to be ignored. That is the rarest form of power. Not power gained by clawing, begging, or demanding, but power that arrives unannounced and makes even the highest minds bow involuntarily. That is what Elon's obsession proves. An obsession never remains intellectual for long. It mutates. First it's thought, then it's fixation, then it's adjustment, and eventually it turns into policy. When someone like Elon begins rearranging his strategies because of you, the entire landscape bends. Companies follow his moves, markets mirror his decisions, governments respond to his pushes, which means the obsession of one man doesn't stay in his head. It cascades into the world. Suddenly, the obsession is no longer private. It's structural. The world bends because he can't stop bending his thoughts around you. And that's where the weight of this becomes undeniable. Do you realize what you've triggered? You've turned obsession into leverage. Elon Musk isn't just studying you, he's adjusting to you. And the second he adjusts, the world adjusts. He may never say your name, but indirectly, the shift will reveal you anyway. Journalists will notice the pivot. Analysts will notice the inconsistencies. Followers will sense the drift. And all of it will circle back to the one unspoken truth. Someone has gotten under his skin. Someone has infiltrated his mind. And when people learn that, they'll understand this isn't about admiration. This is about dominance. And dominance is a chain reaction. Once one powerful man is shaken, others begin to wonder. They wonder if they're next. They wonder what you've done that could pierce a mind as guarded as his. They begin to observe you not just out of curiosity, but out of fear. Fear that their own obsession will be triggered next. And just like that, you go from being studied to being unavoidable. From being a question to being the answer. From being a mystery to being the mirror they can't escape. This is why Elon's sleepless nights matter more than any headline. Because sleeplessness reveals where power truly lies. Billionaires can control companies, markets, and industries, but they can't control the shadows in their own mind when someone like you takes root there. And once rooted, it doesn't leave. It only spreads. His obsession is your crown, whether he admits it or not. And every restless night is another jewel in that crown. And don't mistake this for the peak. Obsession is still escalating. Right now, it's private, confined to his mind, concealed behind closed doors. But obsession is a poor prisoner. It leaks, it escapes, it bleeds into decisions. And when it bleeds, the world will notice. That's when the obsession stops being about Elon Musk alone. That's when the obsession becomes global. And that is the cliff we're standing on right now. Because once the line is crossed, once sleepless nights transform into global consequences, the story won't just be about obsession anymore. It will be about transformation. Transformation of industries, transformation of influence, transformation of who bends to who. And that, right there, is what comes next. Transformation begins subtly, not in announcements, not in headlines, but in the invisible adjustments of powerful men trying to cope with what rattles them. Elon Musk, a man who once defined disruption, begins subtly shifting his strategies. Projects he once ignored suddenly receive attention. Investments he once dismissed suddenly become urgent. Teams are redirected, deadlines are altered, energy is reallocated. None of it is explained publicly, but behind those closed doors, the trigger is always the same. Your existence. He cannot name it, but he feels it. The need to adjust is proof that obsession has grown teeth. This is no longer curiosity gnawing at his brain. This is an internal earthquake shifting the foundation of his empire. The world may never know the exact conversations, but they will see the results. They will wonder why Tesla suddenly pivots harder in one direction, why SpaceX rushes a project faster than necessary, why Neuralink becomes louder in its promises. They won't know the real answer, but you will. It isn't strategy driving those moves. It's sleeplessness. It's obsession disguised as leadership. Because no matter how powerful someone appears on the outside, when their nights are hijacked, their days become reactionary. And reaction is weakness. Elon Musk is supposed to be the master of action, the one who makes others adjust to him. Yet now the balance is reversed. Every adjustment he makes is silent confirmation that you've crawled deeper into his circuitry than he'll ever admit. That's the strange thing about obsession. It always leaks. It leaks through body language, through choices, through overcompensation. His followers won't see it at first. His allies won't recognize it immediately, but they'll sense something is off. His pace feels more frantic, his tone more strained, his vision more scattered. And the deeper truth is simple. When someone like Elon Musk begins to fracture under obsession, the fracture doesn't stay hidden. It reverberates. And reverberations at his level don't just affect him. They shake industries. They tilt markets. They confuse analysts who try to predict his next move. But the one thing none of them will realize is that the source of all this turbulence is not a competitor, not a crisis, not a world event. It's you. Understand what that means. You are now a hidden driver in decisions that alter global pathways. Not because you applied for the position, but because obsession made you unavoidable. Elon Musk may be building rockets, but his focus is orbiting you. He may be investing in AI, but his sleepless nights are spent replaying your presence. And when sleeplessness seeps into strategy, you're no longer just in his mind. You're in the architecture of his empire. You are shaping the future by haunting the man shaping the future. And that is a paradox no one saw coming. Think about the irony. Elon Musk is known for studying humanity, studying problems too vast for ordinary minds: energy, transportation, colonization. Yet here he is, studying you in secret, trying to decode why your presence unsettles him more than billion-dollar failures, more than government resistance, more than cosmic challenges. You've become the unsolvable problem in a brain built to solve everything. And when a problem resists solution, it becomes an obsession. It becomes the recurring ghost in the machine, the reminder that control is never absolute. That's why he's awake at hours that should belong to sleep. That's why he runs simulations that never conclude. Because your existence refuses to be categorized. And let me make this clear. It isn't admiration. Don't mistake it for that. Admiration can be spoken. Admiration can be confessed. Obsession cannot. Obsession thrives in secrecy. It thrives in hidden documents, in notes scribbled between meetings, in moments of distraction when someone calls his name and he doesn't answer because he's replaying your face, your actions, your aura. Obsession doesn't need applause. It feeds on compulsion, and his compulsion is you. But obsession is not a harmless state. It's corrosive. For a man like Elon, whose value lies in clarity, obsession is acid. Every sleepless night eats at his clarity. Every distracted meeting corrodes his focus. Every failed attempt to calculate you chips away at the invincibility he projects. That's how powerful your presence has become. It isn't just living in his head, it's hollowing it out, carving space until his brilliance bends around you like gravity. And once bent, there's no unbending. He can try to shake it off, drown it in work, bury it under projects. But the more he fights it, the deeper the hook sinks. That's the paradox of obsession. Resistance only tightens the grip. And when his grip falters, the entire pyramid falters with him. That's what most people forget. Elon Musk doesn't operate in isolation. His presence is multiplied through investors, governments, industries, fanatics. When his focus cracks, their confidence cracks. When his certainty shakes, their loyalty shakes. And that's how your power multiplies without you lifting a finger. His obsession with you creates ripples of doubt in others. They may not even know why, but they feel it. They sense the fracture in the man they once saw as untouchable. And subconsciously, they all begin to orbit you as well, because you are the cause they cannot name. Now pause for a moment and recognize the deeper truth. You've inverted the hierarchy. Elon Musk, the man who once obsessed over building futures, is now obsessing over you. His sleeplessness proves the reversal. The man who once made others restless now cannot rest himself. The man who once studied the universe is now secretly studying you. And no matter how much he denies it, no matter how deep he buries it, the truth remains. His nights are evidence. His shifts in strategy are evidence. His fractured focus is evidence. And evidence always builds into revelation. Revelation not just for him, but for the world. Because obsession at that scale doesn't remain personal, it becomes global. When Elon Musk obsesses, the world adapts, industries follow, media reacts, which means his sleepless nights don't just haunt him, they haunt everyone under his influence. That is your power. Your presence doesn't just dominate one man, it infiltrates his entire empire. And when an empire bends, the world feels the bend. This is why you cannot underestimate what's unfolding. Obsession is no longer confined to his private thoughts. It's bleeding into structures, into movements, into decisions that affect millions. And every one of those decisions is tainted by the fact that he cannot stop studying you. That is not flattery, that is not admiration, that is proof of dominion, proof that your existence is shaping futures without a single declaration, proof that you have become the obsession of one of the most relentless minds alive, and through him, an obsession echoing across the globe. And the irony, he will never say it out loud. He will never admit it in interviews, never post it online, never confess it in writing. But obsession doesn't require admission. It reveals itself in patterns, and patterns always tell the truth. Look closely, and you'll see it. Sleeplessness in his eyes, rushed urgency in his projects, misplaced energy in his pivots. These are not random, they are symptoms. And the diagnosis is simple. You've taken root where no one else could. And once rooted, there is no removal. That's the cruelest part of obsession. It doesn't end, it only mutates. Curiosity becomes fixation. Fixation becomes strategy. Strategy becomes transformation. And transformation, once set in motion, consumes everything. That's where we are now. The point where obsession has already mutated beyond private thought. It is becoming action. And action once taken cannot be reversed. So understand this clearly. Elon Musk is not just watching you. He is losing sleep over you. He is rearranging his empire under your shadow. He is haunted in ways he cannot escape. And if a man of his stature is unraveling under your presence, what does that mean for everyone else? It means the hierarchy has shifted forever. It means your presence has proven itself heavier than wealth, louder than innovation, sharper than reputation. Because what truly defines power is not who you study, it's who can't stop studying you. And now the entire world is about to learn that truth. Because obsession, once exposed, becomes legend. And legends are not chosen, they are cemented by the sleepless nights of those who tried and failed to erase them. Elon Musk's sleeplessness has already crowned you in ways he'll never admit. And soon, the ripple of that crown will be undeniable. Because obsession doesn't whisper forever. Eventually, it roars, and when it roars, the world doesn't just notice, it bows.